Glad to have you with us here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here as we have an updated look on your Seattle Seahawks depth chart. What we've done is we've taken the Seahawks depth chart that they released earlier this week, and we've added Connor Williams to it, and we will give you our thoughts of how this depth chart shakes up, some of the position battles that intrigue us, and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we are trying to get to 53,500 subscribers before the Seahawks' first preseason game on Saturday night. We're just over 300 away from reaching that next milestone. If you want to be a part of our watch party, you want daily news and rumors, live shows multiple times a week, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more, you got to subscribe to Seahawks Today. Join the family of 12s, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Subscribe now. We'll get started with today's show. The QB depth chart, no surprises to this point, as Geno is still QB1. That has not changed. Sam Howell, your QB2, and P.J. Walker is the QB3. Although Sam Howell has not looked great, P.J. Walker's outplayed him. We're not expecting any major changes to that, at least anytime soon. We'll see how the preseason goes. The running back room for Seattle includes the following. Kenneth Walker is your RB1. Zach Charbonnet, your RB2. He's expected to take an increased role in this offense, though. Kenny McIntosh did not look great in the scrimmage last Saturday, but he remains your running back 3 at this point. Holani, Lewis, and Robinson also in the mix as well. Let's talk about McIntosh for a moment. I need to see more out of Kenny McIntosh. Struggled to stay healthy last year and had that lackluster showing in the scrimmage. The Seahawks are going to use at least 3 running backs. And Seattle fans, you guys know as well as anybody, we have seen some bad luck when it comes to the injury front with this running back room. They are going to need to rely and trust on Kenny McIntosh, especially when it comes to the passing game. With the potential ability for him to be a third down back, they need to see more. So I need Kenny McIntosh to kind of figure it the F out, if you will, over these next couple of weeks. Hopefully he steps up in the preseason. How would you grade the Seahawks depth chart? We will reveal the rest of it here in a moment, but want to hear from you guys. A, B, C, D, or F, what do you think of this depth chart with the addition of Connor Williams? I go with a solid B+. What do you guys think? Weigh in, let us know. The receiver room, DK, Lockett, JSN lead the way. We should see more of JSN on the outside. He and Lockett could potentially be reversing roles, if you will. Bobo and Eskridge also there. Chenault, Young, very competitive for that wide receiver spot and beyond behind Jake Bobo there. Jake Bobo's looked very good so far throughout training camp. The tight end room for the Seahawks, Noah Fant's got a little bit of an injury right now. We'll see if that continues to be an issue, how quickly he can recover from the foot injury he suffered in practice earlier this week. Pharaoh Brown, your tight end 2. Barner, Mabry, Russell, and Jack Westover there as well. I'm concerned, especially with the Fant injury, about the lack of pass catchers. All right? You got a whole lot of blocking tight ends in this tight end room and not a real number 2 receiving threat. And before some of y'all come after my throat, you're going to say, well, you got Jack Westover. He's a receiving tight end. He was 3rd in receiving for the Washington Huskies last year. And you know what my response would be? He's a UDFA. We don't even know if he's going to make the team. So don't give me this BS about Jack Westover as that second tight end receiving option. I'm concerned, and you should be concerned too. What's your confidence level in Seattle's tight end room right now? I don't feel great. Scale it for me 1 through 10. I'm going with about a 6 at this point in time. Weigh in, let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the best place to go for last-minute tickets for the best seats and the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace in Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Let's say you want to go to a Seahawks preseason game. Maybe it's a Mariners game, whatever it may be. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You get to check out your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then you're checking out within a matter of moments. Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. To the offensive line is where we turn our attention to now. Charles Cross at your left tackle spot. You heard Albert Breer of the Monday Morning QB say a couple weeks ago that he likes what he's seen from Charles Cross. He thinks that he can be an all-pro caliber left tackle this year. Laken Tomlinson, your starting left guard. He comes over from the New York Jets, was a Pro Bowler in 2021. Not a great year last year in New York. They're expecting him to get back to Pro Bowl form. Connor Williams takes over as your starting center, the highest graded interior offensive lineman by Pro Football Focus last year with an 85.6 grade. He's expected to be healthy and ready to go week one. Anthony Bradford, currently listed as the starting right guard at the moment, with Abraham Lucas as your starting right tackle, although he is banged up right now. We will see when he makes his return. Now, adding Williams changes the outlook of this entire offensive line. Now you feel a whole lot better. Olu as a backup, and he can play some guard as well. Bradford and Haynes competing for that right guard spot. You go to the tackle positions. Cross hopefully takes that next step. Now we just need Abe Lucas to get healthy. Because we've seen when Abe is healthy, he's just as good as Charles Cross, but he struggles to stay healthy. In that knee, you hope it's not a chronic issue. But this offensive line that went from one of the worst in the NFL last year, now adding Connor Williams to the mix and having some depth, you feel a whole lot better about this offensive line where it stands right now. Let's turn our attention to the defense now. Let's start with the defensive line. And a bit of a shocker, Jonathan Hankins in the starting lineup for Seattle, according to the depth chart that was released this week, with Jaron Reed, Leonard Williams holding down the other spots, Byron Murphy a backup, Cam Young there, Mike Morris, among others in the mix as well. And I'll say this, I wouldn't read too much into Hankins as the starter at this point. What my guess is that Mike Macdonald just doesn't want to hand things over to Byron Murphy without making him earn it. That as a rookie, they want to continue to make him work hard, put his best foot forward, and make him earn that starting job. I believe that he will be a starter when the season begins, but that's going to take time. And we've seen that's consistent with the messaging that Mike Macdonald has talked about with Byron Murphy all season long. He's been pretty hard on the guy, if we're going to be honest with you. So playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, making him earn that starting job, that's fine with me. The linebacker room for Seattle. A few surprises here. Draymond Jones starting at the rush outside linebacker spot ahead of Boye Mafe. Jerome Baker at inside linebacker alongside Terrell Dodson, two of the newest additions to the Seahawks. Uchenna Nwosu on the other side. And then you got guys like Boye, Derek Hall, Tyrese Knight, John Radigan, among others there in that linebacker room. I'm a bit surprised to see Jones starting over Boye right now, but we've already heard Mike Macdonald say that Jones is going to play both on the defensive line and the outside backer spot, that they're going to play him at both spots. I don't think this means that Boye's in the doghouse necessarily. The guy led the team in sacks last year, set the franchise record for most consecutive games with the sack. We're still going to see plenty of Boye. Don't think he's getting benched or anything like that, but they have options to work with, which is a very good thing for this Seahawks team. Pick one to start. Would you rather roll with Draymond Jones or would you rather roll with Boye Mafe? Draymond's the highest paid player on this defense, $18 million worth. Boye coming off a very stellar second season. Which guy? Type DJ for Draymond Jones. Type Boye for Boye Mafe. Let us know in the comments section. To the corner room we go. Trey Brown starting at one spot with Mike Jackson behind him. Going to be a very competitive battle between those two to see who wins the job. Rick Wallet and Devin Witherspoon at your other two spots. And some nice pieces as well. Pritchett, Burns, DJ James, among others there. I expect Trey Brown to win the job over Mike, but this is going to be something that goes till the very last preseason game. just as we saw last year. Remember, it came down to the wire. Mike Jackson, they told us, Pete Carroll and company, had a fantastic offseason last year, and then he shit the bed and he struggled in the preseason. Trey Brown stepped up, and then Trey Brown looked great in that game against the Detroit Lions where he played maybe the game of his life. I think Trey wins the job. Trey's had a very good camp, but this job is far from over. And at the end of the day, who doesn't win that starting job, they very well might get shipped out of town. They might get traded. And if I were to guess right now, if I were to rub my crystal ball, if you will, I think Trey wins the job. Mike gets traded for some potential draft capital. The safety room for the Seahawks. Julian Love, he's back with a new extension off the Pro Bowl campaign. Rayshon Jenkins comes over from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was a sneaky good signing. I like Rayshon Jenkins. And then the depth, he got a little bit of concerns there. Kobe Bryant, he's got work to do to learn the safety position. He's been very inconsistent. Kayvon Wallace you bring over. He's played corner. He's played safety, kind of similar to Kobe Bryant. They need to see him become more of that safety role. And the Seahawks are expected to play 3 safeties at times, so we'll see what they can come up with. Jarek Reed not expected to be back for a while as he continues to recover from injury. What do you think the Seahawks record will be after the signing of Connor Williams? I said before 9-8. I think Connor Williams is worth 1 game. I'm bumping it up to 10-7 is my record prediction for the Seahawks. What do you guys think? Chime in the comments section. Let us know. Last and least, the special teams unit. Jason Myers at the kicker spot. Michael Dixon at punter. A very good 1-2 punch there. Chris Stoll with the mullet and all at the long snapper position. And your returners include Chenault, D. Eskridge, Williams, Winston, among others there. A pretty solid unit there on special teams for Seattle. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Got a watch party coming up on Saturday night. We will see you then. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV, and have a great day.